Yeah, we got no power, can't get any food. It's been, it's interesting.
Hey Alan, are we going to work today?
I'm not sure we're going to be able to today. Oh man.
Yeah, I think we might be out of luck today. We're gonna try and wait this out. There is a massive storm out there. It's not looking good. We'll see what happens. Well, we made it through the day yesterday. Unfortunately, we could not work. That storm came through and it wiped out power in all the surrounding towns. There's wires down every place, there's trees down, major flooding. But our job site looks pretty okay. I was expecting a lot of things to have been blown away. We had up to 70-mile-an-hour winds yesterday, but things are looking good. Our wetland's full of water here. The reservoir's full of water down there. Pond took on a little bit of water, not too much, but everything looks to be intact, which means we should mostly finish today. If anything, we might have a couple touch-up items for tomorrow. The concerning thing for both Alan and myself is that there is no power here, which means we can't fire the pumps, which means if it doesn't come back tomorrow, we're gonna have to come back up here, which is 4+ hours away, to fire this thing up. So we're praying that the power guys really come through for us this time, but in the meantime, let's get this thing finished up. The pieces are really starting to come together now, which is good because we have to be done here tomorrow. We're heading back home. I go back to Jersey, Alan goes back to New York, and Charlie goes back to New Hampshire. So tomorrow is D-Day. We have to be finished, and I think we're gonna get close today.
Finally, we got another load of water, but we need 2 more. But with all the storms, we weren't able to get it yesterday, but it is here now. The only thing really left is the guys are over there mulching some of those areas where we really don't want that soil to wash down into the pond until it gets planted. We got Drew and Boley are over there finishing up the pathway. They got one more stretch before it's all completed. And then we got these outcroppings to get in and get rid of the other load of soil to grade everything off. And then we got cleanup. Yeah, we got no power, can't get any food. It's been, it's interesting.
That was one of the sorriest lunches I had in a long time.
Yeah.
That was like a prison lunch. It was 2 slices of bread and 1 slice of meat and 1 slice of cheese. But there's no food stores open, there's no nothing here. The storm was horrendous yesterday. Knocked out gas stations, food stores. There's nobody that has anything around here, so we're struggling a bit. We're gonna get through it.
We're gonna get through it. We just gotta, we might be here a while if we can't get fuel.
Well, we have made it to our final day, and the pond is completely full. We had our last water truck delivery last night. All the walkways are just about finished. Got some mulching done. Drew is finishing up the last bit of the flagging over here. Got some leveling to do, then he can do all the joints and everything on this section. We still don't have power yet, so we're gonna give this generator a shot. We're hoping it can run all 3 pumps. I don't think so.
Being that we have no power, the owner had this pigtail, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the wires back out of this box. We're gonna bug them together, so then we can plug the generator into the bigger pump, because these 2 already have pigtails on them, but the big pump is hardwired, so we're gonna have to put this on there in order to get this to work, because we have to test this before we leave.
And that is our biggest variable this morning. We have to see this run because there's tweaking that has to happen on these waterfalls, and driving back 4+ hours to do that would really suck. But we do what we got to do. Hopefully this will work today. On the way in, all the houses had power except for like maybe a half mile from here. So we're hoping that the electric company gets things working before we leave, but chances of that are slim. So we're relying on this generator to make it happen. There is a ton of cleanup work to do. Colby's working on staging everything. A lot of the material that's left over is gonna stay here. The homeowner's gonna use it for other projects. The guys are cleaning up the driveway where the tractor trailers came in, and then it's just buttoning this place up so we can be finished. Well, we've got everything done. The water feature is completely built. All the walkways coming through the landscape look amazing, leading up to the top pond. Pond is completely full, ready to go. Transition area looks fantastic, going down into this lower waterfall and the other wetland filter. Patio finished. We got problems. All right, Alan, give us a scenario.
There is no power still. We lost power the other day, and we can't fire our pumps. We tried everything. We had 2 different generators down here. We just don't have enough juice to fire these up, and we didn't want to damage them, so now we gotta wait.
Not only do we have to wait, we have to come back here.
I know.
So for me, it's almost 5 hours. For you, it's 4 or 5 hours,
yeah,
depending on traffic. We've got to come back here because we lost power here a couple days back and it has not been restored. Lots of storm damage from Tuesday's storm, and both generators we tried will not fire the large pump. It kind of halfway runs the other 2 pumps, like half power, but we can't get this system running. We don't know what it's going to look like, and of course you don't know what it's going to look like because we don't know what it's going to look like. So that means we have to come back.
It's always a joy.
No worries, you see it now. All right, I spent the night at Charlie's house last night, me and Anthony. Came back this morning, the power is on. And this water feature looks awesome. You guys are gonna absolutely love it. Alan is actually coming up tomorrow. He's gonna get all the finish shots, so I'm gonna let him reveal it to you guys. Take it away, Alan.
This recreation pond came out way better than we would have ever expected. We had 2 teams come together with this collaboration, and I am just super excited to show you how it came out. So down over in here is where our patio fire pit area is. Over to the side, we have our 3 external pumps. So they are very, very quiet. 3 pumps, a 3-horse, and you got 2 12,000 gallon per hour, which puts it just a little bit over a horse each. Let's say a horse and a half. So we have all that power going over here, and you can hardly hear that water going through there. Normally, on a pool pump, it's extremely loud, and you got to build some sort of a cover. In this case, the owner is going to build a little bit of roof over because he wants to run this thing through the winter months. We painted all the pipes black. We kind of wanted all that pump stuff to be in stealth mode. So then once he starts planting over in here, you will never see those pumps from any of these sitting areas. So back over in here, both teams were putting this patio together in that fire pit area, and just check out where you're going to be sitting. We got all these massive boulders recessed down in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down on one of the sitting rocks that we put in so you can get an idea of what it would look like from here. So right here is the fire pit, and then check out way over in here, you got all these waterfalls. One of the nice things about all the waterfalls being spread out is when you're sitting here, it's not deafening. You can have a conversation, and the pitch of the water, if you ask me, is absolutely perfect. Maybe you could have a little bit more, but I think for this setting, we hit it right on the head. Back over in here, this cool transition that the guys did with this patio going right to the water. Down in here, you have this little weir. The reason that that weir is in there is we wanted those leaves to kind of skim off of that, and you can see right now, they're all coming down through here, and it's going to be real easy for the owner to take it off of that Metalamat. Back over in here, we have a series of smaller falls coming down off that upper pond. That's where that stacked slate that you saw early on was being done. The reason we did all these different types of waterfalls is because that's what nature is like. There's no just perfect sheet falls. There's not just boulder falls, but there's a good mix. So with all these big boulders set back and forth in here, that water coming out of this wetland up here, it just emulates like this big pooling area of water where a stream is fed down. It's swirling around and dispersing over all this different area for waterfalls. And it just gives you that whole natural look. Then when you transition up through this path, you're coming up through the path area here, and it just keeps right on going. So no matter where you are, we have water. This is actually a wetland. It's a natural filter where the water is percolating up through the top, but you gotta choke it down so you don't make it look like a man-made filter. And when you're coming back across this thing, it's super interactive, walking on these stepping stones, going right across that wetland, right back up to the other path. And when the path comes up here, what it does is it ends at these jumping rocks. Over in this section is 7 foot deep. Look how big this rock is. We actually placed these rocks in here, these big ones, so if maybe there was a bunch of people here and they're taking turns jumping off, you could just kind of sit down, relax, and then just enjoy it. The other nice thing about these destination rocks is you can just kind of sit on the edge, hang out, talk to people, put your feet in the water, and just enjoy everything going on around you. Here's our other wetland, which is actually facing the house. So we have a series of waterfalls right over in here that you're able to not only get that really nice serene sound, but you're able to see those waterfalls from their upper deck area. So when you're looking down over the deck, not only are you going to have this huge body of water, beach area, the kids are going to be able to play, and they're going to have some fun underneath these small waterfalls in here because they can get their head under there. The water is not super deep here, so they can transition in. These are those delineation boulders that we put in when we were building a pond, and the reason the owner wanted them there is so when the kids are in this shallow area, they know that these big rocks are kind of a buffer before you hit that 7 foot deep area, which I think is a super smart idea. So that is it for this project. I know Jack and I are super proud of both of our teams. This collaboration has been amazing. 3 weeks time, This is a huge project to get done in 3 weeks, but you know, both teams coming together, everybody's got a lot of experience, and it just went super smooth.